Right, hello folks. It's just got to the end of the week and I thought I'd do a little kind of random rambling video again just to kind of I don't know, just draw attention to some of the bits and pieces I've been thinking of this week. So I've been quite busy this week, I got another invasion threat video done. I've been, focusing on my research into the 66th Division that were one of the first units deployed to defend East Yorkshire, who were initially at the outbreak of war based in Manchester, unfortunately. Mm. And it's just got me thinking about like things like the vast amount of information. Oh, sorry, I've got two screens. I don't want two screens. No, not that one. Sorry. There we go. That's better. Um, So the main things I've been kind of thinking of are just how much happened or how much was going on in terms of the home forces during the Second World War, not just in the key invasion period, but prior to war even starting. So, yeah, the 66th Division, along with the 18th Division War Diary, which were one of the units covering Norfolk, has just given me this insight into like the kind of lead up to the outbreak of war, um, and has made it very clear that there was a fair bit of activity in the months leading up to the war, which I'm finding quite interesting. It's something that's generally not, as always, generally not kind of considered. Like I say, with the threat of invasion, it's always seen as something that's happened in 1940 and kind of continued into 1941 up until the point the Germans turned their attention to the east. And this is clearly, clearly not true. But one of the reasons why, you know, um, I think this period doesn't get kind of set in its context. But yeah, just been thinking about that. I was also thinking about in terms of casualties. I think I've mentioned this before about the fact we know exactly how many Home Guard casualties there were, but we have got no readily available figures for the professional soldiers in the home forces that lost their lives. And I was also wondering about like who was the most senior officer killed while deployed in the home front and things like that. And yeah, how many other ranks were killed, and why don't we know this? Why isn't this more well known? Why is the focus only on the Home Guard? I was also thinking, again, in relation to the Home Guard, we know the exact number of Home Guard that signed up in, I think it was May 1940, was something like 3 million. But how many of these actually went on to actually become full-time members of the Home Guard? Although 3 million signed up, that doesn't necessarily indicate how many actually were deployed and made it through like the process of being weeded out for through ill health or been too elderly, for example. Anyway, just yeah, that was just a little random thought. Um, so I just wanted to kind of show. So my Patreons and the folks who funded me via GoFundMe, I give them quite frequent insights into what I'm doing. But I just wanted to give a kind of like sneak peek of. So I posted a little video earlier this week showing, or last week showing like my thing of animating videos in GIS, and I just wanted to give a bit of an insight into that. So let me just turn that back on. Let me try and work out how to do this. Right. So this is my GIS. This is QGIS, which I use for all my mapping. I've got a load of stuff going on, and this is like the events of the 66th Infantry Division that I've been mapping over the course of the last 2 weeks. And if we see, so they were based just to the south of Manchester. And this is like all the events relating to a single headquarters. I've spread them out just so they don't quite overlap and I can't select different layers. But yeah, just gives you an idea of like this is for the period August to October. And we can see there's just so much information. It doesn't just, they moved later on as well, but it doesn't just affect the headquarters. You've got things going on within the division area. It's like setting up a practice camp for the Royal Artillery up at Walney Island, and one of the artillery field regiments going to Kirkham and all this stuff. And yeah, this is what kind of set me off thinking that there's just so much activity, so many events, and this is just one division at the outbreak of war. Just think when you get to the point where there were multiple divisions posted across the country, how busy this picture will get. And one of the things that I've always liked doing is showing really busy maps, and I don't know why. It's just something that I've always enjoyed doing. Is just like dumping a load of data onto a map and then just showing how busy things are. I don't know. Yeah, so if I kind of like let me go to second division here. Not operation instructions. Have I got? Let me just try and find a like a location statement or something on here. be one in here? No. So I should have planned this out before. This is one of the things I like to do things kind of ad hoc. Defense emergency scheme. I thought I had one. No, there's got to be one for the second division, right? Sorry, location statement, right? So these are all the units for the second division in October 1940, so coming into the winter of 1940. And yeah, I just love how busy this map is. You know, it's not meant to be legible. It's just meant to like just show kind of where all these units were. You can see, I can't remember if I highlighted this before, but yeah, this is just one of the things I like to do is just like create a really busy map that no one can actually bloody read, just to show how complex the situation was. Yeah, obviously I'd never publish anything like that because yeah, it's you can't really publish it, but I just like to kind of illustrate how much information is going on. Like so, when you zoom in to where the 66th Division were when they were at the outbreak of war, you know, you just see all these things coming in, like telegram received from Western Command following message received from War Office. You know, war's broken out. It was. You also get the times for when this information came through, so you can, yeah, do some really quite interesting stuff in terms of like a real time map. So I love mapping, I really do. Um, yeah, that's just one of my thoughts this week has just been how busy the situation must have been, how much, and it gives you an insight into why a division had, you know, its own headquarters and why battalion, you know, why these units all had their various administration units because administrating a unit in the field was a massively complex task. Yeah, so that was just one of my thoughts. I also want to just draw attention to Andy Chatterton's upcoming book. So, um, Andy Chatterton is a really good author. I really like his writing style, and I used to do a podcast with him. Sorry, bear with me while I disappear off screen. Um, and with Robin Maguire as well, which I really want to get back into doing that. But yeah, Andy's got a book coming up. So Andy's better known for his Britain's Secret Defences book, which I haven't actually got around to reading yet. But if it's anything like this one, it's going to be a really good read. Um, and a couple of months back, while Andy was writing this, he sent me through the chapters on land defence, so I could do a bit of proofreading and give him, you know, just give some pointers as to various bits and pieces in regards to the home forces. And yeah, I recommend if I'll stick the link to this. So the book's still on pre-order. It's not out till the end of the month, and I know Andy's doing various things to launch the book. But having had the opportunity to preview this book and certain chapters of it, what's most important about this book is that it's going to give this insight into the home forces. You know, and it's written in such a way that it's not detail overload, but it gets all the key points across that you need to know about. Like I say, I can only comment on land, but if the sea and the air aspect is anything to go on, then it's going to provide the reader with a really, really nice introduction to this period and a really nice introduction to the broad history and the general history, and also present the key facts as well, such as the facts about the British Army being deployed straight away after Dunkirk, and the defence of the country wasn't solely in the hands of the Home Guard in 1940 and before and after. It shows this extremely well. Yeah, so if you want after a book to get, this gets my recommendation for the next month or so. So I'll stick this link in the Amazon link in the description, but I'm sure you can buy it elsewhere. But yeah, in fact, the thing I want to do is see if I can get Andy on for a chat, and we'll just have a bit of back and forth about that. But yeah, that's just some of the things I've been thinking of this week. So with this research, because I do it as and when I'm not working. So yeah, I work full time. I work 8 till 4 o'clock writing archaeological reports, things like that. That's my day job, and the research I do and the social media and the blogs and stuff and the site records I all do in my spare time. And I generally don't get paid to do it or anything like that. It's just something I like to do in my spare time. But I have to be aware that I can easily get hyper focused on stuff and spend hours and doing research and then wear myself out, which is not something I want to do. So I'm trying to keep it as relaxed as possible with the video content and everything else, while also being aware that I've got other things to be doing outside of work. Like obviously spending time with my wife and actually living a life rather than just getting engrossed in history. But at the minute, I'm kind of on a bit of a roll and quite enjoying, the stuff I'm doing outside of work. Like, well, the research side of things and the history side of things in terms of the research into Thetford and continuing the East Yorkshire thing. The East Yorkshire thing is going to be a long-term project, while my Thetford thing has got more specific research aims, and I want to get that wrapped up by the end of next year, give or take. Yeah, but that was just like a little thing I've been thinking about this week. I mentioned in a previous video that I've started doing like solitaire wargaming, and that's just kind of snowballed. I'm doing that quite a lot in my spare time. I find that quite fun and relaxing as well. It's something to keep an eye off. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts at the end of this week. It's just a bit of a brain dump. And I just thought, I had some interesting thoughts there. Obviously, I wanted to point you towards Andy's book as well. But yeah, don't know if that's interesting or not. So, I've been talking for 10 minutes. I think that's more than enough time for you to listen to me. But anyway, keep up, keep on following my channel. Please do subscribe, that usual bull. Do check out my website and the UK Second World War Heritage website as well, because there's a lot more information on those places too. And I'm just going to keep on chipping away at this research and this channel, and yeah, just that. So anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you folks later. Cheers for watching. Bye.